And now to Ukraine, where there are new allegations of war crimes.
Officials say Russian forces attacked 2 schools in northern Ukraine, killing 3 people and wounding 12. The new allegations come as the first Russian soldier stands trial for war crimes in Kyiv. The 21-year-old is accused of killing a civilian during the first week of the conflict. Meanwhile, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is holding up a $40 billion aid package for Ukraine. Despite bipartisan support, the Republican objects to the dollar amount. The Senate is expected to hold a procedural vote on Monday.
CBS News foreign correspondent Debora Patta joins us now with more from Kyiv. Deborah, good to see you. So more war crime allegations are coming to light in northern Ukraine. What can you tell us about them so far?
Well, very sadly, every day more and more war crimes come to light in Ukraine. This was in Chernihiv. 2 schools were blown up by Russian artillery. President Volodymyr Zelensky said that any Russian commander who gave such an order was sick. And the pattern is the same. As towns are liberated from Russian occupation, parts of those towns become crime scenes that are not always scrubbed clean, so that evidence, possible evidence, the kind of evidence that prosecutors need to bring a war crime to book, is available. And so when the Russian troops are moved out of areas, the war crimes investigators move in. But even those investigating crimes are not always safe. We saw an incident in Kyiv, a terrible story of a woman who returned to the place where her daughter was buried. Her daughter was having tea when a Russian tank arrived at her gate and aimed directly at her and fired. She died, but she didn't die immediately, her weeping mother said. She lived for at least an entire day, suffering the entire time, and there were no ambulances because of the shelling to take her body to a morgue, so they just buried her in the garden until they could return to retrieve the body. That body was being exhumed and will also go for forensic examination in a war crimes case. But as they were doing that, there was an explosion right where they were digging.
Oh, my goodness. The agony of what you described is unbearable for any parent, any loved one to witness. But I have to ask, we're talking about the first war crimes trial of a Russian soldier since the start of Ukraine's war began. It began today in Kyiv. What can you tell us about that? And will this inevitably lead to more prominent Russians landing in court?
That's a good question. Vidam Shishimarin is a 21-year-old Russian sergeant. He stands accused of killing an unarmed 62-year-old man who was on his bike and he was left dead on the side of the road. Shishimarin was allegedly firing at his head from an open window of the car he was in. He was part of a Russian tank unit that was captured by Ukrainian forces. They claim he confessed. He appeared in court today in a glass defendant's cage, and as you said, he is the first person to stand trial for war crimes. If convicted, he faces life imprisonment. He may be the first, but if Ukraine's chief prosecutor has her way, he certainly won't be the last. They have over 10,000, as many as 10,700 cases, and there are more every day that get added to this litany of atrocities. But they hope to bring all those cases to book. At this point, in this case of this man who stood trial today, they're really only the foot soldiers. And part of their investigation and building a case is also to pinpoint the men who gave these soldiers the orders to kill civilians, the commanders. And ultimately, Ukraine has said they want to go all the way to the top and see Vladimir Putin stand trial for war.
Yeah, that soldier looked like he was just a teenager.
A child.
It's unimaginable. Debora Patta, thank you.